You destroyed yourselves in this country with your ludicrous, hypocritical behaviour. The truth be told.
But they're ridiculous after that.
Oh, shut up. What do you mean the stakes are this high? Who do you think you are?
They just strike me as creatures of that generation. You know, you're just fragile.
The roast hit her so hard that Meghan Markle nearly fell off her seat. Maher and Piers Morgan didn't come to play. They came in hot and heavy, and this time they weren't holding back. Piers Morgan came out swinging like he's been holding it in for too long and was just waiting for the perfect moment to explode. And his first stop was their infamous Netflix documentary.
No, the world's biggest victims right now are the Duke and Duchess of Netflix. And don't take my word for it.
Looking at it, you could just feel the frustration pouring out of him. According to Piers, the entire series was dull, whiny, predictable, and full of narcissism.
The first 3 hours of this Netflix series paint a very different, far uglier picture of this country and our royal family.
Now, when someone like Meghan Markle probably spent a fortune putting that together, how exactly do you expect her to feel hearing that? Piers went in with facts and fury. He dissected the documentary like a surgeon, exposing every hidden lie. He said the paparazzi footage Meghan and Harry used wasn't even about them.
The claims of paparazzi intrusion in the 2 trailers turned out to be nothing to do with them. They weren't even at many of the events.
Even their trailer was allegedly filled with stock images from completely unrelated sources.
Doesn't it make more sense to hear our story from us?
Oh, shut up. What do you mean the stakes are this high? Who do you think you are? Other than a latte-munching imbecile living in luxury in California while the rest of the world's a cost of living crisis, moaning and whining about an institution which gave you the titles on which you now trade millions of dollars.
Then there's the story of their proposal. Sweet on the surface, but according to Piers, it was a total rewrite of reality. Every single detail they gave about it in interviews didn't match up with what they showed in the series. That wasn't a coincidence. That was a strategy, but it backfired.
I nursed a chicken, and it was just an amazing surprise. It was so sweet.
An amazing surprise. It was so sweet. Well, according to Netflix, which is their show, it was actually a candlelit extravaganza in their walled garden, isn't it? Harry and Meghan are the Duke and Duchess of gaslighting themselves. The entire show is a cynical attempt to manipulate viewers into questioning their own recollections of reality.
Yes, you heard that right. A woman he claims can cry on cue like clockwork. Every time the topic of racism comes up, it's like a switch flips and the waterworks begin, making us feel sorry for her, drawing sympathy like it's a currency. And she didn't stop at just tears.
Meghan once showing us how she could cry like that at the drop of a little tarnished tiara. Remember that? She could do it like that. Just bear that in mind when you watch it. You get that one?
According to Piers, she even used the memory of Princess Diana to add emotional weight to her narrative and manipulate public sentiment.
But by far the most sickening part of this show for me was the constant use of Harry's late mother, Princess Diana, to stoke sympathy for Meghan.
A move he boldly described as grotesque exploitation, trying to hijack Diana's story for personal gain. That's not just low, that's shameless. And Piers wasn't about to let her get away with it.
Well, the shameful comparisons with Princess Diana. I remember Prince Harry being very, very angry about the media exploiting his mother for commercial gain. Yet what has he done with this Netflix series? He's used his mother to sell it. Could there be a more grotesque exploitation or a more hypocritical one?
Then came the big lie. Meghan claimed she received no royal training and no preparation at all before stepping into royal duties. But Piers quickly shut that down, revealing there was a detailed 30-point briefing prepared just for her to understand how the royal house operates.
Meghan also sees she got no advice on royal protocol, forcing her to learn how to be a princess all on her own. Another lie. And by the way, Meghan, if you don't like me calling you a liar, just sue me, and we'll go through all this in court. The Sunday Times discovered she was actually handed a 30-point dossier, studiously researched, brimming with information and contacts.
But instead of learning from it, her first mission, he said, was to tear down the very family she married into. And that's what gets him. She constantly talks about wanting the truth, but every step she takes seems built on something completely different. She even claimed the royal family never responded to the Netflix series. Another bold-faced lie, according to Piers. He said the palace reached out, but she conveniently ignored it, and then spun her own version of the story. That's not just audacity, that's world-class gaslighting. And then came one that Piers just couldn't let slide. She said she was told to exclude her niece from her wedding. He didn't just call it out as a lie, he said it made no sense at all. Who in their right mind would tell you to cut off your own family from such an important day?
Yeah, that was a lie. Impeccably placed royal sources told the Sunday Times no such guidance was ever given. And that was supposed to be the show's big example of how Meghan really cares very deeply about her family. So deeply that only one member of that family was at the wedding, her mother. Not even her favorite little niece, Ashley.
Sometimes he said she sounds so out of touch that she forgets she's even talking. Bill admitted he respected Harry for serving in Afghanistan, fair play, but also said, let's not act like that makes him a genius. Military service doesn't make you untouchable. Then he called out the ridiculous contradiction they live in. They say they want privacy, but they made a whole Netflix show detailing every intimate detail of their lives. And if that wasn't enough, Harry went on to write a tell-all book dragging his entire family. Bill pointed out how the late Queen handled things with grace. She never explained and never complained. But Meghan and Harry won't stop talking, won't stop explaining, and won't stop complaining to anyone willing to listen. And Bill wasn't done. He said Meghan is extremely manipulative, someone who could cut off her entire family without blinking. Her father ignored her, her siblings are gone. Even her mother, he hinted, is only visible when it serves her public image. And then she marries into the most famous royal family on earth, pulls her husband away from them, and convinces him to burn the bridges while smiling in front of the cameras.
It is very sad, Gary, but I think there's only one damaged person. I think Harry is definitely damaged, and rightly so, all he's been through throughout his life. But I think Meghan, on the other hand, is a highly manipulative woman, who'll go to great lengths to get what she wants and is incredibly dangerous.
Bill said he's never seen someone so obsessed with perfection and control. He called her one of the most insecure public figures ever, because if she was truly secure, why is she constantly running to interviews and media platforms just to take shots at her in-laws?
You're complaining about your hard life, and you're so privileged. It's just so weird.
It's ridiculous. I totally agree.
Her entire life, according to Bill, is perfectly curated, from her school runs to the newsletters to her product launches. She paints herself as the ever-busy, overworked mom with no help, but let's not pretend she doesn't have a full staff behind the scenes. The narrative she's selling doesn't match reality. And why is she always in our faces if she says she wants peace and space? Nobody's asking, but she keeps offering. So when people say Meghan lost it after that roast, they're not exaggerating. Piers and Bill tore her entire house of cards down in one sitting, and she had nothing left to hide behind. No more curated sound bites. No more fake shock. Just the cold, brutal truth being handed to her with no filter. Drop your thoughts in the comment section and tell me what you really think. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one.